Grand Raw Rising, kings and queens. Grab your coffee or your tea and enjoy some sacred healing space for all ages and reflections that are welcomed. No matter if you're at work, watching the kiddos at home, or even driving on the road, Rising with Raw is a beautiful sacred space to learn about the chakras as well as receive our collective card reading for the day. Along with this, we will have beautiful guests and members of the tribe come on to share their gifts, their practices, knowledge, and wisdom as we self-empower and become aware of who we are as we go forth by day.
Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian.
What's going on, everybody? Grand day. It's Marcus Christolight. Today on this Rising with Raw, we get to experience and explore a whole lot of Isis love. Yep, we're going to be exploring our spirit guide of this Rising with Raw, which is the goddess and great mother, Isis. We explore our chakra of the day as well, which is going to be the Soul Star Chakra. And then we connect with our spirit guide, Isis, through 2 divination oracle decks, including the Light Language Oracle and the Book of Doors Alchemical Egyptian deck. With this, we learn more about Isis, her spiritual being, her services, and the energy that she is the archetype of. We then cap off our connection and learning about the goddess Isis with reading out of my favorite Shamanic Egyptian astrology book, as we learn her connection with the planet Venus. Then we wrap up the space with a elegant, loving, Soul Star Chakra clearing and balancing practice, channeling white and gold light with Mother Isis. Enjoy the episode. Feel free to leave your feedback or anything that you'd like to reflect upon or that you got downloaded during this video. If you are someone that would like to be a guest on Rising with Raw, you may direct message me, Marcus Christolight, to set up an episode. I'll share.
Hello, hello, or should I say, grand day, grand rising, grand raw rising, and thank you all for tapping in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for rising together on this Monday to kick off our week. And today on Rising with Raw, I, your host, Sacred Pharaoh of the Space, Marcus, aka Christolight, I will be taking us on a journey today. A journey of exploring with our spirit guide of the space, the great Mother Goddess, Isis. As we will be connecting with Isis throughout this sacred space, we will also be going over and doing the education of our chakra of the day, which will be the Soul Star Chakra. So a little bit later on, I will go over what the Soul Star Chakra is, how to identify blockages, and how to balance and maintain the Soul Star Chakra in our everyday life. So along with this, we'll be connecting with the great goddess Isis in our energy, as I will guide us through a Soul Star Chakra activation and cleansing experience. And that will involve some conscious breathing, a little bit of meditation, as well as light language. And then along with that, I will be reading a little bit out of one of my favorite books that I have also been kind of bringing up every once in a while. And we have the Shamanic Egyptian astrology book that I will be reading out of. And I'll be reading out of it today to talk about the great goddess Isis and also her representation and correlation in astrology. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Welcome in, Casey. Welcome in, Wade. And welcome in, Goddess Switching. Alright, so just a couple reminders, just checking in with ourselves today if we haven't. Just remembering to be present with our mind and our emotions, as well as our physical body. So if we haven't, just take a moment today as we get grounded and centered into this space, into this sacred space that is. And just allow yourself to really just settle in and get grounded into this sacred space. And with that, just check in with the mind. If there's any thoughts that are cluttering, if there's anything that's keeping you attached to the future or the past in the mind, maybe take a few breaths, let go of it, and release it from this space. Same with the emotions, checking in with emotions, just seeing if there's anything in our emotional field that is keeping us from being present in this moment right now. And if we need to, take a few breaths and release any of those emotions that are keeping you from not being present in this sacred space right now. And then the physical body. Just check in with your physical. See if there's anywhere where you can stretch maybe. Anything that could use a little tender loving of your hands. Whether it's self-massage, a little bit of tapping, a little bit of, tension releasing. Just check in with that physical body and see if there's anything that could use a little bit of your own love. And this is the vibe that we're kicking off with today, is self-love, self-presence, giving ourselves attention, and then doing it all together as a unified conscious collective right here in this beautiful Rising with Ra community that you guys are all making up right now with your unique, beautiful energies. And thank you for doing so. Welcome in, Bonzo, Kindred Creatrix, and you know, one of the biggest things of Mother Isis is self-love and nurturing and affection. And she's really encouraging it right now today, is to really become present with yourself and give yourself love. Give yourself love in the areas that could really use it right now. Whether it's physical nurturing, self-massage, dance, inner child play, releasing of thoughts, limited beliefs, releasing of attachments and emotions. All right. So I have no announcements for us. It's kind of been spending time on my own, you know, focusing on myself, really organizing, clearing, and getting myself prepared for, you know, bigger manifestations and just opening up space for more attracting. So soon I'll have more flow shops coming on Zoom and some other sacred spaces. I'll be having a meditation space coming up pretty soon as well. But for now, just kind of staying low key, staying in tune with the well-being. And I will say that around next week, I will be dropping my first podcast episode in quite a while. And that's on my YouTube channel, Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. And it's the podcast Sacred Light Conversations. I'll be dropping an episode here next week, and it'll be featuring a holistic, intuitive, hypnotherapist, psychic medium, energy healer out of Ontario, Canada. Her name's Lisa. I just recently shared her in my story, if you guys want to check her out. She does a lot of teaching, and she also does like Reiki Master teaching and stuff like that. But she'll be coming on the podcast, and we'll be chopping it up about some conscious energy practices and just some other things as well that you guys will have to tap in and see. (2023) Mother Gaia, third dimensional planet, ascending into fourth dimensional collective consciousness. Azor,
Grand Rising Captain.
can you give me the update on third dimensional planet Gaia?
Yes, Christo, with pleasure. Gaia 3D currently is under critical condition. It seems there is a large amount of humans that have forgotten who they are, causing confusion, division and war driven by fear.
Thank you, Azor. Before we head down to Gaia, can you give me any information about the 3D world, as it's been a while since I've been there?
Sure, the 3D Gaia. We will face much resistance from negative polarity beings as a dual plane. Karma and Dharma are in effect. There is free will. It will be wise to protect our energy and hold love.
Alright, thank you, Azor. Sounds like we have quite the task at our hands. But that's why we're here, and that's why we've been called upon in the Galactic Federation to go down to planet Gaia, the 3D realm, Alright, Azar, let's get ourselves ready to go. Let's hit the time portal and make sure we land in the present day, Mother Gaia, third dimension. Whoa, oopsies. Yeah, not that one. Okay, let's try this one. Maybe this is the portal. Oh, yeah. Azar, this is a little too far in the future. I think we need to kind of go back a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Modern day Earth.
Captain Christo, as we approach, I will prepare our guest suite on the mothership for the souls we hold space for. Oh, and Captain, I will be sure to leave plenty of storage for earthly food delights to take for our travels.
Oh my gosh, Azor, you never fail to make me laugh. You know those earthly delights? That good old food of earth. Absolutely gotta have that food of earth. Thank you, Azor. Alright. It is time. It's time to make our way down to 3D Gaia. To hold space, show love, compassion, bridge the conscious collective, and help provide knowledge and wisdom and tools so fellow souls can remember who they are, live in a unified mind state with a harmonious being, with holistic, conscious practices and tools that they may access efficiently and quantumly.
Welcome aboard. I am Azor. Please get cozy. Grab a tea, snacks or crystals as we prepare for a sacred light conversation. The sacred holding space is down the hall to the left. Wholeness, balanced love.
But we got the Light Language Oracle today, and I want to read out of this Oracle book on what Goddess Isis represents through this Oracle expression. For everybody out there, this deck it's really unique. Every guide was a channeled guide from this author, Chloe Metcalf. She channels each guide and then directly relays the message through the channeling, instead of it being kind of like a more visionary fantasy creating. It's actually direct sitting and channeling direct guides. Pretty cool. Alright, so we have the Goddess Isis. So, Goddess Isis, divine feminine protection, ancient wisdom. This goddess is one to take seriously. She is powerful and commanding in her presence. If you ask her for assistance and start to feel an icy chill, there is a sign that she has arrived to help you. Goddess Isis brings an ancient message. Your life is being healed and transformed. This is a time of big movement and rebirth and alignment to your higher purpose. Goddess Isis always offers you nurturing with the condition that you need to put in the hard work, especially when it comes to your spiritual practices. Regular chakra clearing and karmic DNA healing is a must when working with Isis. Her wisdom flows from ancient Egypt, Atlantis, and Lemuria. So, if you are interested in our planet's soul history, Goddess Isis is your resource to study our past. If Isis has made herself known to you, this is a sign and a little bit of a kick in the pants to get a move on when it comes to your soul healing and health. Do not take this request lightly. Know you are protected in your journey, and you can call on Isis whenever you feel the need for protection. Not much really for me to say off of that. I really feel like it's very clear, self-explanatory. That really is just coming down to saying that you're being given a fire. You're given a fire to move forward with what it is that you've been thinking about, what it is that you've been feeling, what it is that your spirit has been craving, and what it is that you want more of in this world. And there's nothing stopping you from that right now, besides your own self. Nobody and nothing is in the way of you making the choice to put forward the action that is necessary for what it is that you're dreaming of, for the goal that you have, for the intention that you have set. Nothing and nobody is stopping you from acting upon it, besides yourself. So this is that moment where you're being reminded that there's nobody to blame. There's nothing to tell you that you're short of the ability to do something. And that there's no better time than now to start putting forward the action. This action can look like simply writing down on paper or on your device steps necessary for you to take to start, or the tools that you need to gather in order for you to start on whatever it is. Any type of blueprinting, any foresight that you want and need for what it is that you're trying to accomplish is something that you can work on if you can't afford the materials, if you can't afford the tools right now. We can always find things to work on, find things that we can start kind of putting into forward gear, or get ourselves a step ahead. What it is that we are manifesting or trying to accomplish. It's also just a reminder as well that not only are you being given the boost to really act upon what it is that you're dreaming or that you would like to accomplish, we are also being shown that we have abundance. We have abundance in many different forms and ways. And I'm not saying just material abundance. Abundance of love, abundance of support. We have abundance of consciousness. We have abundance of energy. Along with this abundance, we also have protection. We are protected and loved by our mothers. From the micro to the macro level of the mother. We are so protected that we are able to go through our trials and tribulations and still be able to come out of it with love. Like, man, that's how deeply protected we are. We are so protected with true, pure, unconditional love that that protection doesn't even interfere with our free will. That's how loved we are. Sometimes we think unconditional love is when someone interferes with our experience, with our karmic experience, with our dharma experience. But really, in a more full and whole essence, it's pure unconditional love, more so the ability to allow a being to act upon their free will, to love them despite their free will choice, to love them through their free will choice, and to love them after their free will choice, without a personalization, without judgment, without criticizing. That's the type of love Goddess and Great Mother Isis delivers for us. Is that type of love. That love that is so nurturing and so warming. No matter how much you mess up, no matter the flaws that you have, still gonna give you a big old hug and wrap you in my arms. And I'm still gonna play with your hair. And I'm still gonna give you motherly love. But you can bet your ass I'm also gonna use my words, and I'm gonna tell you what it is, and tell you how it is, and what you need to look at so you can become a better version of yourself, while I'm still giving you nurturing and love. That's Isis love right there. It's that mom that takes no shit, but also protects and loves at all costs what means the most to them. That is Isis right there. But bet your ass you'll get those tongue lashings if you were messing up big time. Welcome in, Cosmic. Alright, so that is Goddess Isis in the Oracle, the light language. Oh man. That's the Isis love right there. It's not that Kuan Yin love. Like, Kuan Yin love is more of like, the lotuses and the beautiful blossoming flowers and elegance and just softness. That's that Kuan Yin love right there. Now, Goddess Isis love, we're talking about like, okay, yes, I'm going to love you and nurture you and protect you at all costs. But at the same time, if you're messing up and you need to start becoming aware of what you're doing, your ass is going to get this tongue and I'm going to be spitting fire at you about what you need to be looking at with your shadow. But I'm going to nurture and love you while I do so. And just know that I always will nurture and love you. But I will give you the harsh realities of what you need to hear so you can grow and become your best version. That's Isis. That is Isis. it's fun, you know? Like, it's really fun connecting with these different archetypes of energies, especially when you don't take it like too serious to where you're worshiping and like giving your power away to these archetypes. But it's really fun when you can find that balance, that real conscious awareness of what this is and what we're talking about and connecting with. And when you can just connect with these energies as archetypes itself, it's really fun. It's so multidimensional and just so creative and expansive on what life is. And yeah, I'm just grateful to be able to, you know, share these experiences and be able to express so freely with all of you in these spaces and just really have fun with it all. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over our chakra of the day here today on Rising with Ra. And our chakra of the day is going to be the Soul Star Chakra. Welcome in, Surya. Good to see all the sisters in the house. All right, so we have the Soul Star Chakra. Soul Star Chakra, there's not going to be as much going on with this chakra due to the fact that we're stepping more into the etheric realms, more into the energetic body of the chakras. Just to briefly kind of explain what I'm talking about here is, you know, our 7 chakra system encompasses more of our physical human being. So there's more correlation to our physical traits of life. Now, when we step into the 12 chakra or 13 chakra system and above, and the Soul Star is one of those chakras, we're then stepping more into the etheric energy body of our being. Therefore, there's not as much physical and human traits when it comes to these chakras. It's probably the easiest and simplest way I could explain that for you guys. So, when we step into the Soul Star Chakra, the location is about 6 inches above the head. And then the traits, so for sound healing or direct frequency connection, the resonant frequency is 1074 hertz. So that's 1074 hertz. The color of the Soul Star Chakra is typically a white and gold color. Now, the characteristics that it brings into our life, it is the portal for the Akashic Records. It is also a direct connection to our past life regression. It is also what you could call the shamanic spirit realm, where shamans and other healers access when it comes to the in-between. It can also be known as like the psychic other side, or the other side where family members and others go. And it also is the ability to remember and embody being more than the body. So when you're in that state of being within your consciousness, and you're like really embodying and being in the state of being more than your physical body, not being attached to your physical identification and surroundings, when you're in that state, that is having a healthy and active Soul Star Chakra. Alright, so now blockages in the Soul Star Chakra. A few blockages can look like having fears and challenges from our past lives continuing to cycle, being too dreamy and neglecting your physical life, lacking a feel or sense of having a purpose in this life. So these are all some symptoms and signs of having a block in your Soul Star Chakra. And if you guys have anything else to share, any other questions surrounding it, feel free to post them in the comments, either here on live on Instagram or on YouTube. You know, we're always open to growing and learning more, as there's always more to learn about the chakras, that's for sure. Alright, so crystals. So here's 4 crystals that you guys can find helpful to directly connect with the energy of the Soul Star Chakra. And there probably are more out there, of course. But we have selenite. Selenite is like an OG. Definitely one of those basic ones to have at home. Selenite is a wonderful helper. We have amethyst. Amethyst is like an OG as well. Kyanite. Kyanite is, yeah, it's definitely one of those old ones as well. And then we have quartz. Good old clear quartz. So we have selenite, quartz, amethyst, and kyanite are all very resonant and helpful for the Soul Star Chakra. Alright, so that's our chakra of the day, education for the Soul Star Chakra. And here in just a moment, I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit out of the Book of Doors, Divination Oracle deck, which is a alchemical ancient Egyptian deck. I'm going to read a little bit about Isis in this oracle, and then after that I will also be reading about Isis according to Shamanic Egyptian astrology, and we'll be talking about her connection and correlation in astrology. Okay. So we'll go ahead and break open the Book of Doors. I'm gonna actually clear this up a little bit. Welcome in, Kaya Mac. What's up, girl? What's up, sister? Alrighty. We're getting our goddess on today. We're talking about self-love, self-nurturing, giving ourselves intimacy, and also honoring ourselves and stepping forward in our power. Being unconditionally confident in who we are. It's time to put forward that beautiful, dynamic energy that has been craving to be expressed and craving to build empires. That's right, I said it. Craving to build empires. I know we have that feeling in us. So let's get to it. Okay. Family of the Sun. Family of Ra. Family of the Sun. We have Aset, Isis, the great goddess and mother, which means the throne. Aset was the greatest and most loved of all the Egyptian goddesses. Her celestial symbol is the star, or Sirius, the source of life. Her terrestrial symbol is the throne, the earth power, principle, which transmitted to her son Heru, or Horus, gave him the ruling power over the double land of Egypt. In the story of Aset and Ra, we see Aset as a cosmic goddess who also wanted to take terrestrial power as a woman, a magician. In this story, she creates a snake to bite Ra, who has become old and feeble and dying of the snake's venom. Ra trades his secret name for Aset's healing ministrations. She absorbs his power and passes it on to Horus, who becomes the young son with a divine right to rule over the earth, a power which he, in turn, transmits to the pharaohs. The consorts of Aset is the Neter Asor, or Osiris, the first god to die and be resurrected. In the occult tradition, both Aset and Azar walk the earth in human form, survivors of the catastrophes that destroyed the earlier civilization of Atlantis. In the early history of Egypt, they were described as coming as teachers, bringing the knowledge of agriculture and healing, and establishing the first temples of the gods. When their task was completed, they were said to return to the stars from where they came. For Aset, Isis, was the soul of Sirius, and Azar, Osiris, dwelt in Orion. Aset, Isis, was always depicted as Azar, Osiris's loyal and loving wife. And when he was tricked and murdered by his brother Seth, Aset searched the land for his body and gathered together all the scattered pieces to make the corpse live again. Only one part was missing, the phallus, so Aset created life and the solar principle, Heru, out of herself. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, King, Gento. Right now I'm reading out of the Book of Doors, Alchemical Comedic Divination deck about Aset, or Isis. And yeah, get comfortable, ground yourself in, and allow yourself to enjoy if you would like to be in there. So Aset not only gives birth to Heru, the sun, she also revives the dead Asar. She makes the corpse live again. This myth concerning the resurrection of Azar epitomizes the human condition, for Azar, while connected with Aset and the principle of life, is not subject to the cycles of human death and rebirth, but when he conjoined himself with Nebt-Het, the principle of corruption and decay, he lost his immortality and was subject to the death at the hands of Seth. While Azar was united with Aset, it was not possible for him to die, but Nebhet caught him into her fatal embrace, and Seth, the principle of fixation, enslaved him. Only Aset had the power to restore his immortality, and her son conceived through Azar is Horus, the son reborn. So I just want to keep in mind, everybody, that more than anything, this is symbolic storytelling of life within you, life within each and every one of us. And these are archetypal energies that represent the different experiences, the different rhythms, the different flows and vibrational realms that we consciously experience throughout our being, internally and externally. So just a reminder to keep that in mind when you're listening, when you're really allowing the medicine and the symbolic reminders to come through, to keep in mind that this is also talking about your internal system as well. The son conceived by Nebhet through Azar is Ampu, or Anubis, a messenger and guide from the realm of the dead. It was Aset who took care of Ampu, who was abandoned by his mother, and he was always her loyal companion. Through her devotion extended to Ampu and the Duat, Aset is seen to govern even the principle of death and decay. She contains all the principles within herself. One of the symbols closely associated with Aset is the scorpion, a guardian and protector. Also by the physical contraction and expansion of the scorpion's body, especially its tail, it symbolizes the rhythmic contraction and the expansion of the vital life functions. Breathing, sexual activity, birthing. Also the scorpion, in order to escape, stings itself to death. While Aset was escaping Seth to give birth to Horu, she was accompanied by 7 scorpions. She also had a most powerful ally in Tehuti, or Thoth, who was assured her that Heru shall be made to sit upon the throne of his father, and he shall avenge him and take possession of the rank of the principal, or the prince, of the 2 lands. Disguising herself, Aset sought refuge at the home of the queen of the district where she wandered, but the queen, not recognizing her and afraid of the scorpion, shut the door on her. Instead, a poor woman gave her refuge. Later, however, one of the scorpions stung the queen's son, and, hearing of her great sorrow, Aset returned to the queen's home and restored life to the child, laying her hands on him and uttering power. When her own child Heru was bitten by a scorpion sent by Seth, Aset herself was overcome with grief. Again, Tehuti came to her aid, saying, "Fear not, for Aset, having taken human form, experiences human emotions, including fear and sorrow." Tehuti also gives her the message, "O Isis, thou goddess, thou glorious one, who hast knowledge how to use thy mouth, behold, no evil shall come upon the child Horus, for his protection cometh from the boat of Ra. I have come this day in the boat of the disk, from the place where it was yesterday. When the night cometh, the light shall drive it away, for the healing of Horus, for the sake of his mother Isis, and every person who is under the knife shall be healed likewise." Shata Iyasatana Uchaka. Later in his life as a great warrior, Heru confronted Seth to avenge his father Asar. They fought together for 3 days and nights, but when Seth was on the point of being overpowered by Heru, Aset intervened to save him. She could not allow one principle to be destroyed. To do so would mean the end of creation. Oof. This last one. This last sentence. Oh, man. Oh. Yes. Yes, King G9. Thank you for being here, man. I'm really glad you're here. And thank you for your wisdom and knowledge that you have as well. I'd love to link up. Oh, man. This last sentence, though. Wow. Alright. I'm going to go over this last sentence real quick with you. This is so good. Wow. So remember, keep in mind, we're talking about this as in the perception of observing these archetypes and principles as parts of the nature of creation, as well as the nature of our life and what we go through. So just keep that in mind. And then what we said here. Oh, wow. So this is really big. And I could literally go on for days about this, but I'm going to keep it brief, or at least try to. So there's a lot of things you can take out of this course, but this is what I want to bring forward. So a lot of times in this human life, especially being in this physical 3D realm, as we call it, you know, there's a lot of polarity. There's a lot of division, separation, mindsets going on. Now, it's really easy for us to be like, oh, okay, so I want to be all the way light. Or I want to be all the way love. I don't want to have anything to do with hate, anger, frustration, lower vibrational energy, shadow, darkness. I want nothing to do with it. I want to be all the way over here in the light. Now really think about that. And a lot of us may have to really sit and think about where we are with ourselves and what we're portraying. Now, if we are all the way for one thing, and then rejecting and resisting other aspects of the wholeness that we are, then we're resisting and rejecting parts of our own self. We're not coming into harmony with ourself. We are resisting and rejecting parts of our own self. May we remember that this creation that we're in is a whole, balanced creation. And you are a direct embodiment of that. You are a balanced system. You are the full spectrum of your highest light to your darkest dark. And that is you. That is I. There is nothing to escape from. There is nothing you can separate from. Those are delusions of illusions that we are choosing to experience for temporary experiences. On top of the truth. It's just like an overlapping while the truth is still present. And this actually goes back earlier with what we were talking about with Isis's love. The Great Mother, abundant Isis type of love, is that love that is aware of this, that is embodying it, that understands this. And with this knowing and this love comes the unconditionalness of allowing people to be free, to be their self, to authentically go through their experiences, and still hold love, compassion, and protection for them to go through their life experiences as they need to, without personalizing it. Think about how many parents out here, and this is not something to point out as if it's something wrong, but it's just perspective. Think about how many parents out here, we end up personalizing our connection with our child. Instead of stepping more into the observer role, detaching and remembering that our child is another spiritual sovereign being that is experiencing a cosmic journey just like I am. And really, it's not all on me to do everything for this being, but to do what I can to my best ability, to be a guide, to show love, but also to give them the freedom and the space to unconditionally be able to go through their life journey. It's deep, 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 deep love. Detached love. Whew. So now, with what was just being talked about, trying to get rid of one polarity over the other, or thinking that we need to exterminate anything that has to do with darkness in life. That's not what it's all about. That creates resistance. And then, we think about this. How many times as human beings are we going about the mentality of change, growth, removing something from your life or continuing on to something else in your life? Think about how much we polarize these type of situations instead of blending, bringing harmony, bringing together these polarities. For example, it's like it's like your diet. It's like your diet, We can become so polarized by our diet that, we go from our traditional diet and then we want to become vegan. So like what we do as humans, it seems like, in our natural nature nowadays is it'll become now basically I hate whatever I was eating in my traditional diet. It's bad. It needs to be demonized. It's terrible. So now I need to go to the extreme of becoming raw vegan. And if I go back, oh God, I'm doing so bad. I'm messing up. Now think about how we create that polarization on our own self for no reason. When really what we could do is be like, oh, okay, I want to explore being raw vegan. And every once in a while, if I feel like eating chicken, it's okay that I eat chicken every once in a while. And then 90% of the time, I'm raw vegan. Think about how much more gentle, how much more supportive and loving that type of mindset and thinking is, compared to when we feel like we need to be done with something, or that it's time to grow and change, that we need to all of a sudden start demonizing the past, or demonizing the thing that we're moving on from or growing from. When really, it's about integration. finding the purpose of it, finding how it's been supportive, seeing why it's been in your life, seeing if there is any way to integrate it into you as you move forward. I just find it very interesting how quickly we trash things that could still hold value in our life, even if we're growing or changing from needing it to be as available for us. So it's also really interesting, it's why it's important that we also come into balance within ourselves with our masculine and feminine principles, and not try to reject one over the other. Like, something I see very commonly in society, especially in the spiritual environments, is like the emphasizing of the goddess, healing the goddess, rising the goddess. But then there's like this rejection, and there's like this very quietness around supporting the God, the king energy, the healthy and real king energy. Why aren't we emphasizing both? And it's just interesting, And with that, I see situations where there are some out there that it's like, oh yeah, support the goddesses, goddess energy. And then it's just kind of just like, forget the kings, forget the gods, forget the healthy males that are trying their best and embodying healthiness. Just forget them. They don't really matter. They don't need to be talked about. And if they talk about themselves, then they're selfish assholes. It's all about the goddesses. It's all about the queens becoming healthy. Like, I get it. I understand what we've been through in human history. But we also have to remember that all humans of all races and genders have been through some tragic shit on this planet. We all need to be supportive, equally, in balance of all. We need to raise up the goddesses. We need to raise up the gods. We need to bring balance to the masculine and feminine within each and every one of us. We just gotta remember that male is not better than the female. Female is not better than the male. There are different purposes, different reasons for these distinct creations that we're in. And together, it creates the wholeness of what we're experiencing in existence. The more we resist this, the more that we choose one side over the other when there's really not sides, the more we keep our own self out of a 5D vibrational reality. So remember that. If you're someone that's trying to be in this 5D earth, new earth grid type of stuff that's always being preached about, remember, if you're truly embodying it, if your mindset is supporting non-polarization, if your mindset is supporting wholeness, equality, seeing masculine and feminine as equal, seeing male and female as equal, not holding on to past traumas, collective experiences that are filtering into our cognitive reality now. Are we even truly present? Or are we running off with traumatic experiences from the collective in the past? Think about it. So, before I got into that tangent there, back to the sentence that got us there. Yeah, for everybody that's just joining, we're reading out of the Book of Doors, Divination, Ancient Egyptian Alchemical deck, and we're reading about Goddess Isis. So we had later in this life as a great warrior, Horus confronted Seth to avenge his father, Azar. They fought together for 3 days and nights, but when Seth was on the point of being overpowered by Heru, or Horus, Set, or Isis, intervened to save him. Now this is the sentence right here. Before you go, Kai, listen to this sentence. She cannot allow one principle to be destroyed. To do so would mean the end of creation. Now this sentence is what just got us into that tangent. This is why it's important that when we're reflecting and when we're trying to clear ourselves from attachments and to heal from our traumas and other things of the past, that we're embodying this right here within our conscious mind, that we're embodying this teaching that Isis is bringing to us right now, is this remembrance. She could not allow one principle to be destroyed. To do so would mean the end of creation. She could not allow Horus to kill Seth, even though Seth had dismembered Horus's father, Osiris. Why? Because then Horus, who's supposed to represent the pure light of life, would then be consumed by Seth, which is the pure darkness of life. So then, if those opposing forces are not in their place to keep the balance of creation, creation no longer exists, because the light of life, Horus, has now been consumed and polarized into complete darkness, complete ignorance, total nothingness, no life. Which is why Isis, the mother, cannot allow her son, the light of life, to be consumed by the darkness of life, as then all would become dark. Now think about that symbolically. Think about your own self. Think about within your own self. Think about your emotions, your being. What happens when, instead of instead of expressing, instead of confronting, instead of addressing something that's darkness with love, and we try to address that darkness with darkness, what typically happens? More chaos, more problems, further hurting, further pain, perhaps killing. We get out of our heart, we get out of our light. And then think about if we become too much of our light. And we're just completely detached from our human life in reality. Then we start depriving our human life, start depriving the shadow work that we're supposed to be doing here. So that's why it's important that we're maintaining our balance throughout our journeys. And this is not just about Horus and Seth and Isis in a externalized God and goddess way, truly. This is about you and me. It's about our own energies that make up who we are. And coming into awareness of, okay, so this is basically giving me the clues, the reminders of this is how the functioning of my energy is. And when I do certain things according to these type of beings, then I can start accessing, and I can also start aligning myself with these energies that are being talked about. And then I can also come in tune and start harmonizing with the natural cycles and rhythms of nature, which is also what I am with this being. This is Self-Mastery 101. This is Alchemy 101. This is Mystery School teaching. Okay, so yeah, she cannot allow one principle to be destroyed, as that would then be the end of creation. Heru is a limited principle, being only one of the eyes of Ra. He cannot see the other side because it is opposing him. Furious with his mother for saving Seth, he cut her head off. Tahuti, with his words of power, replaced her head with the head of a cow, emphasizing her cosmic nature as the Milky Way. The universal attributes of Aset were incorporated in all of the local goddesses throughout Egypt, and some of the forms enumerated by Budge are as follows. Wow. In the terrestrial aspect, she is related to agriculture, the growth of crops, the harvest, and specifically a corn goddess. As the personification of Sirius, she was held to have brought about the destruction of the fiend Apip by means of her words of power. Apip is the being that would eat the souls at the weighing of the scale. Alright, so divinatory meaning for Isis. We have magical knowledge and protection, great powers of inspiration and creativity, the bringing of life, and the honoring of the female principles in all things. Beautiful. And I'll go ahead and actually find her card in here as well to show you. Oh, look at that. There she is. It's a very beautiful one, actually. It's a mother nurturing her child while also creating life. That's the goddess Isis, or Aset, as we would call it in the ancient Egyptian and Kemetic terms. Wow, I went some deep channeling today. I'm like really still coming back to my physical. Getting pretty deep there for a moment. Thank you all that have received. Thank you all for being a supportive space for it. Some really deep psychological stuff has been talked about today. And I very well trust, that alchemical keys are available to be received. And as I like to say, always remember, it is always up to you on how you shape your perception and how much you limitate yourself on what you're telling your being. It's up to nobody else. And you don't have to also choose other people's limitations that they're putting on life, putting on their self. Just because somebody else says that we're limited in something, or don't believe that we're capable of something, or whatever it may be, doesn't mean you have to take on that belief either. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of people that like to limit our beliefs and what we're capable of due to programming and trauma and other things. But just keep in mind and remember that you don't have to take on those limitations and those beliefs about who you are and who they are even. But you can hold space, have unconditional love, allow them to express their experience, and to just allow that to be. And if they're open to it, maybe share something to expand upon. But also remembering, stepping into this Isis love of wholeness, unconditional love, just remember that there's nothing to press. There's nothing to force. There's no need to feel like you're right, or to feel like they need to be corrected on knowledge, or to know something right away. So if you ever have that feeling within you, because I've had it throughout my life plenty of times, and as a teacher, as a knowledge holder, I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well, just remember there's no need to press it. There's no need to feel like someone's wrong or they need to know the answer right away. Allow things to naturally flow. And if you get called, you get called. Do-do-do. Alright, so we have our final reading of this Rising with Ra, and it is going to be out of the Egyptian Shamanic astrology book. One of my favorite books, because it really is just a blend of everything I love and that I'm rooted in, especially in my lifetimes. Shamanic in Egypt and astrology. Just a wonderful combination. But we have the goddess Isis, according to the Shamanic astrology, and she is related to the planet Venus. The great goddess Isis is Queen Mother of the Shamanic Egyptian pantheon. Isis is aligned with the energy of Ra, the sun. Her animal form is the hawk that soars high in the sky and can see the smallest details on the surface of the earth. Isis uses her laser vision to see the heart of the matter. She sees the truth in every person, in every situation. She pierces through all denial and illuminates our soul's longing. Her rainbow wings unite heaven and earth. Through her, the divine is manifested on earth. Isis comes to you with the same dedication, loyalty, and love that she expressed toward her beloved husband, Osiris. When twice she went to great lengths to recover his body, she stands by our side through every death and rebirth, whether literal, psychological, or shamanic. She holds us close to her, fixes us with her penetrating vision, and she loves us, no matter what we've done or become. She supports us and reassures us as we move through the difficult process of death. She welcomes us as we open to the birth of a new life. She holds the vision of who we are and we are meant to be, and calls us towards our higher self. In her, we find the courage to walk our soul's path. Her Western astrology counterpart is Venus. In Greek and Roman myth, Venus is the goddess of love, associated primarily with sensuality and erotic love. This aspect of the feminine was more feared by the patriarchy and expressed a power sometimes abused by the matriarch. The story of the birth of Venus describes how the power of the feminine was diminished during the time of the patriarchy. In Greek myth, her name was Aphrodite. Aphrodite rose from the sea after the castration of Uranus by his son Kronos or Saturn. As the blood of Uranus dripped into the sea, Aphrodite arose whole and complete, beautiful beyond words, and a powerful feminine force. Her mother was the sea, her father the great sky god Uranus. In the later Greek, Aphrodite was said to be the daughter of Dione and Zeus, Jupiter, a product of his many infidelities. Her power and importance was thereby diminished. She was reduced from being a powerful elemental force to just another illegitimate child of Zeus. In Western astrology, Venus represents the principle of values. What is it that is most important to us? What do we care about? What is it that will make us happy? It is the feminine principle that determines what we value. The message on Venus is that our lives need to be based on values, on what will make us happy. She posed the question, what is it we most wish to receive? In Shamanic Egyptian astrology, Isis challenges us to align our actions with our values. She is the perfect synthesis of yang energy, the power of the masculine with yin, the receptive quality of the feminine. She is also able to both give and receive. Isis represents the true strength of the feminine, to stand in vulnerability. As we have mentioned in our culture, vulnerability is associated with weakness. Yet to stand in vulnerability, to open oneself wide to receive, requires true strength. Isis challenges us to do this. How capable are we of giving and receiving love? How willing are we to change, to open to a shamanic death in order to receive love? Isis understands the mysteries of death and rebirth. Every shamanic death and rebirth, small or large, is midwifed by Isis. Her position in our birth chart describes our journey through the celestial processes. We must be willing to let go of that which has served its time, so that we might open to that which must come. If we have difficulty with this process, if we are afraid and resilient to the process of change, we will not be able to fully embrace our core values. We will not be able to manifest love. In Shamanic Egyptian astrology, Isis represents the divine feminine, and all the other goddesses are an aspect of her. Isis in our chart represents the aspect of the divine feminine that each of us is to manifest here on earth. It matters not whether we are female or male. The divine feminine exists within us all. For a man, Isis represents the sort of woman he is drawn to, for in her manifestation he sees a mirror of his own inner feminine. For a woman, Isis represents the outer manifestation of her own goddess within. Our inner Isis needs to be cultivated, so as to be integrated into the expression of our personality. She needs to be honored as part of our daily spiritual process. Her sign, house position, and relationship to our planets describe our soul's path and what it is that we must open to as to be able to manifest love in our lives. Our divine feminine, our ability to give and receive love, is part of our birthright. As we open our hearts to Isis, we become a conduit to divine love on the planet. Cultivating her within us brings the great goddess into manifestation on earth. Wow. I just felt love through every word of that. That, just pure love coming out of my mouth. Wow. What powerful reminders today from the great, beautiful energy of Isis that is in our space. And I just want to say, I'm so grateful. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Isis. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to all the queens, the goddesses that be in my space and supporting. Thank you to all of you goddesses that are here right now. Whew. So much goodness. So that is a good variety of expressions of representing Isis, who is our spirit guide of this Rising with Ra. We got her expression through the Light Language Oracle, remembering that we are protected and loved, to take the steps, to take the leaps that we need to in life, knowing that we have the protection and love, to go through our trials and tribulations, to go through our failures, to go through the hard work. Remember that we have the support, the love, the protection we need to go ahead and take the step, whatever it looks like. You guys can see more of that reading in depth on the replay here on Sacred Light 33 on Instagram, or later today on the YouTube channel for the full episode of Rising with Ra, and that's on Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. And thank you to all my subscribers again. Really appreciate all of you. And I'm almost at 300 followers or subscribers now on my YouTube channel, which is really awesome, you know? I don't really expect anything. I'm not like sitting here like really pressed on it or anything like that, but I'm just grateful to continue to get subscribers, grateful for the growth, and I just really look forward to what continues to unfold. But along with that, we also did a little bit of a reading out of the Book of Doors, Divination Alchemical Egyptian deck as well, about Isis. And then we just finished up our Shamanic Egyptian astrology, connecting Isis with Venus. Along with that, I also channeled quite a few messages from Isis as well. So now, our chakra of the day, which I briefly touched on a little bit earlier as well, the Soul Star Chakra. We'll go ahead and take a break for about a minute or two, so we can go ahead and get ourselves comfortable and situated. Grab some water if you would like, or use the restroom. Grab your crystals, set up your altar, burn some sage, light some incense, whatever it is that you would like to do to get your sacred Zen space nice and cozy for this practice. We will be doing a Soul Star Chakra clearing and activation with a Goddess Isis invocation. So feel free to enjoy your break, and I'll be back in just about 2 to 3 minutes, and we will get things started. Alrighty. Welcome back, everybody, to Rising with Ra. Alright, so let's go ahead and get comfortable for our practice, as we are going to be connecting with Goddess Isis to assist us in balancing and clearing our Soul Star Chakra. If you have a crystal that you're going to be using, whether it's a quartz, selenite, amethyst, feel free to use it if you'd like. You can place it on the top of your head and consciously connect it with your soul star, or you can just hold it in your hand, whatever you would like to do. And then we're going to check in with our posture. If we're sitting, having our back straight, and we can use a pillow, couch, edge of a bed if we need to support our back. If we're laying down, having our legs straight and not crossed, so we're not blocking the flow of energy in and out of the soles of our feet. Then checking in with the shoulders, making sure that we are relaxing our shoulders and releasing any tension. And next, we're going to check in with the jaw, making sure that we're not clenching our teeth. And then lastly, with the hands, making sure that we're not balling our fists. Releasing tension throughout the body. The more softer the body, the least resistance, and the more smoother energy can transfer, whether it's releasing or being received. And then next, focusing on the breath. For this practice, we'll breathe in through the nose, expand the stomach. Draw the breath all the way down the body to the earth. And exhale out of the mouth. Breathing in through the nose, expanding the stomach. Drawing the breath all the way down to the earth. And exhaling out of the mouth. In through the nose. Down to the earth. Exhale out of the mouth. This is a form of grounding with the breath, anchoring to the earth using your breath. You can do this at any time. Anytime you feel ungrounded, anytime you need to relax, anytime you need relief in your nervous system, your thoughts. So continue this breath pattern through the session, as it will be your balance and your support to be able to move through anything that arises, old emotions, thoughts, pains, anger, traumas, and more. If they arise, your breath is your support, along with Isis, myself, and all other energies. So remember that you are supported as you continue to breathe. And you may close your eyes, begin to let go of the outside world. Become present with your inner world. Stay with the breath. As you become lighter, you You may let go of any expectations. You may let go of any obligations outside this present moment. You can let go of what you need to do later today. What happened before the live, or what happened yesterday. You can let it all go and just be present now, as it's all that matters in this moment. Giving yourself this love, giving yourself your presence, and just letting the rest go. And as you breathe, surrendering deeper and just allowing yourself to feel the eternal peace, the eternal love that is present, that is the foundation of your existence right now. That is the Mother Isis. Feel her love, her wholeness, her nurturing. Feel it flow through your being, flowing through your cells and through your pores, bringing uplifting, blissful light. Feeling it sink in, rejuvenating your cells, cleansing your blood, relaxing your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, regenerating your tissue. Just feeling this foundational, unconditional motherly love just wrap around your being. And if you may, go ahead and take your arms and wrap your arms around your upper body and give yourself a beautiful, soft and gentle hug. Just feeling the unconditional love, feeling the Isis energy flow through your arms, through your heart, throughout your being. Continue to breathe. Breathe out any judgment, any criticizing, any negative thoughts that you're having in this moment. Just breathe it all out. Breathe it with love. You can keep your arms there for as long as you would like, or you can take them away. Continue to focus on the breath. Now as we breathe, I'd like for you to consciously focus up above the head, about 6 inches, to the Soul Star Chakra, just mentally connecting with it, just feeling it through your mind, feeling and knowing that energy is there. Continue to breathe as you focus on the Soul Star. And as you breathe, Isis is now going to direct a beautiful white and gold light She directs this white and gold light up to the Soul Star Chakra as you continue to breathe. And as you breathe, this golden white light of Isis begins to clear and balance the Soul Star Chakra. If there are any memories, if there are any lifetimes or parts of our being throughout timelines in the Akashic that need love, that need regeneration, that need balance. If there is any energy that needs shamanic soul retrieval, may we allow it to be remembered with the love of Isis. If there are any memories that we have where we're struggling to give love, to let go and dissolve, bring it forth now to the love of Isis. Bring it to your heart. Place your hands upon your heart and allow the love of Isis to be the cure, to be the dissolvent of whatever Akashic experience of your lifetime and soul for balance and love. It could be experiences with family members, friends, and others in this lifetime. Anything that's blocking our unconditional love, creating attachments and distorting us from reality. May we bring it forward with love, honor, gratitude for what it has served. Staying with the breath. Almighty Isis, High Priestess of Unconditional Love and Empress of Regenerative Power, carry us forward across the dark chasm that lies between all sequences of life, death, and rebirth. Help us to know that we need not fear the end. Help us to willingly surrender into your loving embrace. Help us to transform in the light of your healing grace. Hail to Isis, Queen Mother of us all. We are always held by your laser sight and in your loving heart. Ashe. Utalianata Nashanakutiana Ukianataya Satayana Chua Ukupanayana Unanshienata Ukuanayana Ukurayana Teachinatia Usunayana Ma Ukutoyana Ishianakia Ukutua Inasiana Tudua Ishianatia Ikianata Udoa Imanashiete Sukoratia Ukurianata Ishianatia Isikianati Ushumananaya Yasanakia. Namaste. And as you say with the breath, receiving the Soul Star activation of this golden white energy of Isis. She now decorates our aura and energy field with a beautiful white and gold shield of light, extra securing her guidance, protection, and love within your energy field, fortified and sealed in this moment and on. As long as you remember and call upon this energy, it is available to you, as well as the goddess Isis. And when you're ready, navigate your way consciously back to your physical avatar, your physical environment, and integrate with this energy field. Remember your wholeness. Remember you're here now. You are not the past, and you're not your past experiences. Allow this moment to be the present, and continue forward from this moment. Give yourself grace. You are not the past. You are not the future. Prepare yourself for the future you wish to manifest, and allow it to manifest by being prepared. Wholeness, balanced love. Reach out if you would like a one-on-one holistic healing session with myself. If you'd like to explore the chakras in your personal life, or if you'd like to learn crystal healing, just reach out. Remember to hydrate yourself with clean water, to continue to support yourself with good nutrition. Get sunlight, nature, as you can. Remember to move and stretch your body. And remember to address the things that you're struggling with. Remember your support. Reach out to community and those that you know are helpful. Have a blessed and beautiful week. I will see you all on Wednesday as we go through the Stellar Gateway Chakra. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. You guys can see this episode on YouTube later today. Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. Thank you to all of my supporters, all subscribers. Thank you all for just being you. Being a part of the balance that allows me to exist.